Hello and welcome to another episode of Africa's Big Switch. Today's a very special episode, so it's going to be different from some of the other ones we've done in the past. It's our sit down with the host 3.0. So this is the third year in a row where we as the hosts of the ABS podcast just reflect on our year and some of our favorite episode. We also asked the question that we basically asked everyone on the episode. If you were to travel somewhere on an all expense paid trip, where would you go and why? You know the question. And then we look forward to I think we just talk about next year, and some of the things that we're looking forward to. Cool. With me, sit down with the host. We have Liz, Celine, Hassana, and myself, Balaji, who have been your hosts throughout this year. So I'm just gonna start with questions and just get into it. Um, so Liz, what are some of what's been some of your favorite episodes on ABS this year and why?
Yep. So for me, I think my favorite episode was the episode we did with Joe Kinvey when we were talking about connecting the diaspora to African investment. I think the reason why I enjoyed this episode was because he just made such a pertinent point in that um there's so many obviously of African diaspora in Europe, and obviously they make quite a substantial amount of money, and even if just a snippet of their salary or how much they're earning could be given back to families. I mean, given back to the continent, not just in terms of like remittance and given to family, but in a more systematic way, then so much impact could be made. And so the fact that he's building out a system that could enable these investments was really cool to listen to. And it kind of linked as well to one of the ABS insights that we'd created on this topic. So it was nice to have the practical context that linked with just the information and data that we released as well. So that was my favorite one from this year.
Interesting. Yeah, I really like the one with Joe. And I kind of resonate with what you said. It was very inspiring, like a really nice call to action. Sana, what about you?
So to be honest, almost all the episodes this year were like really good. But I really did like the education one. So we had like quite a few. The Lisa one with Dami, then ADF with Abiola, and we had Victoria as well, who's managing the women-led education system. So which was a very unique angle. And but the one I would say that really stood out is the Lisa one for me with Dami, because you could really hear like her passion about it, and then the growth that they've experienced. Like she's actually she took on an active role as opposed to being passive, of like seeing kids on the street questioning why is this happening, this shouldn't be normalized, and actually doing something about it. So it's inspiring to like, for me as well personally, just so that I don't sit down and just watch things happen, but question myself, what can I do, and actually do something about it. And then hearing the growth from like 15 to 150 to 220 students, it's like God knows what's going to happen. Maybe in a few years down the line, how many children's lives is actually going to change. And education, I would say personally, is like a very big thing for me, because thankfully, like I've seen the opportunities that come from actually having a good education, and I'm just hoping that more and more people are able to access it, get involved. But yeah, like the lifetime one with Dami was a really good one.
Yeah, Dami's story is actually incredible. I've been following them, Lisa, for a while. That's and then also Victoria Pearl. You're right. Like this year, we've done a lot more education related episodes, and they've been really inspiring, very like grassroots, community driven. And yeah, I agree. I kind of echo what you liked about this episode. Celine, what has been your favorite episodes and why?
That is such a tough question because I loved all the episodes. And I know as a host, it's like, yes, you loved all the episodes, but I love them because if you look at them holistically, they kind of point to some very core themes like community, grassroots action, and just emphasizing the power and potential of a human being. And I would say that helps me narrow down to my favorite, which was the conversation we had with Tony about venture capitalism. And I remember being very scared of being on that episode because I have limited knowledge on venture capitalism and things like that. But she emphasized just the power of people and like human development and how people needed to be confident enough to fight for the things that they believe in. And I think at the heart of what most of the people do that we interview on this ABS podcast is fighting for something that you believe is either a fundamental human right or will improve just human lives. And I remember leaving that conversation feeling very unstoppable and like, yes, I can do whatever, I can change the world, but not as a silo, not as just me, but as me being part of community. And so my second favorite was obviously Joe Kinvey's episode. I think he gets a lot of stars from the host this year, just again, because of the emphasis on community and community action and the power we as a continent have, whether we're at home or we're in the diaspora, and just shedding light on the fact that there is power regardless of where you are located was such a beautiful lesson for me as someone in the diaspora. It was very encouraging, empowering, and challenging to ask the questions: what can I do? How can I be part of community? How can I be contributing actively, not passively, like Hassana said?
I feel like, Celine, we should get you on an episode next year. And we just record this part and we just play it again because I liked what you said. And I know I've asked a very mean question, so now it's my turn. I'm picking my favorite episode, and you'll like you're right. Like we've had some really diverse and really good speakers on the podcast, and it's really hard to narrow down on this is my number one. I have a I have a lot of number ones. But I'll say some of the ones that come to mind are the episode with Christine on the Innovate Africa Fund was one of my favorites just because she seems so button in her vision. She has a clear vision and she has seen a gap in terms of startup um funding, and she's going fully in, like just jumping into the ocean to go, like, tackle that challenge. So that's really inspiring. Also Richard Chongo from Opportunity International. Richard just seems like the guy on the ground. Like we had a call with him, and this guy was like, like in the community, like, people were greeting him and he had to like mute the mic a few times and like edit out some bits because, and you can just see like the love like the community has for him, and his solution with Opportunity International, try and make things happen on the ground. I also like Dell's episode, which I thought was innovative. So what Agrify is doing in terms of also like carbon finance, I thought that was one of our first episodes. I thought that was really, really cool. So yeah, like I can't pick one, but those are some of the highlight ones for me. And yeah, so I guess the next question is, yeah, our favorite question. If you were to go somewhere in Africa, you to travel somewhere in Africa on an all expense paid trip, where would you go and why? And I'm gonna start in reverse. Celine.
I think I would go to Kenya because they have some of the best beaches, and I am a lover of nature, but specifically nature that has to do with water. Um, and they have safaris, I'm correct. So there's just a lot of nature in Kenya, and I want to experience it because Lagos is fun and exciting, but I don't think we have that much in terms of like nature and nature. And yeah. And I'm probably curious about the food as well. I think they eat too much pepper, if you ask me, because I have a Kenyan classmate and he almost killed me with spice. But I would like to test my spice tolerance there as well.
Liz.
So I would want to go to Senegal. And the main reason is because I have a friend who always talks about, like, she used to have a Senegal neighbor and she would always make her poulet yassa, and like the food was just so, so good. So I literally just want to go to try that dish because I've heard about it and seen it that it looks really nice and I just want to try it. So yeah, I'm a foodie, so anything that's related to food, I will travel for food. There we go.
So people are just traveling for food, all expense paid. Okay. Sana.
I'm not going to lie. My answer is quite similar to everyone in terms of like traveling for food as well. But then if I'm if I'm given the opportunity, I want to say Ghana. For some reason, I've met like a lot of Ghanaians this year. I don't know what it is, but then maybe we're meant to be. I don't know. I'll find out when I get there. But then, yeah, I want to go to Ghana. I heard they have nice beaches as well. So I want to see, I want to compare it to the one in Lagos and, see who's better. Whether we'll have our own beach one now, because in terms of the jollof war, I still don't know about that. But yeah, I know to be honest, I even want to try jollof that is made in Ghana. So let me see what you're always talking about. But yeah, Ghana will be my go-to.
Good luck. Good luck trying the jollof. Hope you come back
Alive.
safe. um
So what about you,
and
Balaji?
for me it's hard. I was gonna say Kenya, and certainly still Kenya. So I'm gonna say South Africa. And South Africa just because it just seems like I've heard a lot about like the culture and how just read about their history and like also understanding that it's one of the, if not the most industrialized country in Africa, and just to see, like, to look ahead to see um what Nigeria could be in terms of industrialization and on what Africans can emulate. But also like I've heard they have like really nice beaches. I've heard that like, they're super like nice and fun people. So and I've also heard they have a really good like nightlife. So, and I heard December is the best time to go, but unfortunately December is the best time to go to everywhere, right? Nigeria, Ghana, like South Africa, Kenya, everywhere. So we only have so many Decembers. But yeah, South Africa for me. And then one final question. Starting with Asana. Looking into next year, what are you looking forward to for ABS?
I'm looking forward to like new speakers, learning about so many other things as well. Like this year has gone like way better than I expected. So, I'm excited for what the future holds because I believe we can get more like engaging conversations as well, learn more stuff, and just be inspired, to be honest, because there's a lot going on the ground. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
And you, Liz?
Similar to Hannah, just looking forward to all the different conversations we're gonna have going forwards, but also building out the ABS insights and just providing more written content, so we can cover even more ground in that field because people obviously love to listen, but there are some people that like to also read and just have the information readily accessible to them. So being able to provide more and do so much more in that space as well. So I'm looking forward to.
And Celine?
I'm looking forward to having more conversations, but I'm also looking forward to the possibility of transforming those conversations into tangible solutions as well, or just connecting the solutions to more audiences, more communities. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to with ABS next year. How about you, Balaji?
I think I like one of the things about ABS is how much I enjoy working with everyone on the team. So I think I'm just looking forward to that camaraderie and um that teamwork where we just churn out good quality content. And that's always exciting. I'm also looking forward to, I think ABS has a vision in terms of highlighting and spotlighting some of the solutions that exist today to Africa's challenges. So I'm just looking forward to more solutions, more speaking to more people, and just learning more about the continents that we all love. And yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. And just to wrap things up, this is the Sit Down with the Host version 3.0. And we've just had I think we've had an incredible year. I think we've been consistent. We have been consistent in terms of the content. We also have articles now. If this is the first time you're realizing, check us out on LinkedIn at Africa's Big Switch. Also follow us on Instagram at Africa's Big Switch. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining this episode. Looking forward to next year. Enjoy the holiday season. If you're celebrating, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.